Hello and welcome y'all to an impromptu midweek chit chat session. I don't know what you want to call it. I just thought I would get on here and kind of, I don't know, update everybody on what everybody's doing. And I have thrown some music on in the background to kind of wait for people to come in if they decide to come in. I know I didn't advertise this at all, so if people don't come in, I'm not going to take offense in the slightest. But I was wanting to cover some of the stuff on Chantal's round trip back to... Hello, Secret Squirrel. Happy hump day, I think. Yeah, it's Wednesday, right? It's been chaotic. I've been very busy with work. Hello, Kiki. Yeah, I don't think I've ever done a midweek. Also, I have a war wound in like the center of my forehead. Playing with my cat, he decided to give me a skibbity pap in the middle of the forehead and used claw. He's such a dick sometimes. Everyone is going live right now pretty much. Well, yeah, he's my redheaded stepchild, so I know I missed out on Monday's live stream because I wasn't feeling well, and then it didn't happen yesterday because I fell asleep because I still wasn't feeling the greatest. But I managed to put out a podcast episode on my Spotify channel, so thought I would get on and just talk to y'all tonight, and kind of an adorable one, I'm sure. He is cute, but looks can be deceiving. Looks can be deceiving. He is a menace. Let me see if I can find a picture of him really quick. Forget what all accounts I have him on at the moment. Thank you. I am an avid collector of Killer Clowns things. I have many a clown t-shirt. I also have these new shelves here. I have them on my desk messily right now. I really need to clean my desk. I don't normally have my desk like this, but it's been chaotic. It's been chaotic. But I got these new shelves. They're like the acrylic neon green, and I'm gonna put a black light back behind, but these are gonna go where that horror poster, it's an old horror poster, is right now. And then I can put my Funko Pops on there. Rioche is probably over in Frenchie's chat. I'm sure Frenchie's going off on the fact that Chantal is bringing up the cats and stuff again. I love that for Chantal. We're circling back around to the rage baiting and claiming that we weren't a neglectful pet parent. I love that for her. Hopefully that works out with her in the views department. I don't think it will much place else, but all right. Let me find a picture of this daggone cat to show y'all. I'm sure I've showed him in the community tab before as well. Pulp finds it to be funny. I mean, a part of me finds it to be funny that she doesn't see, or she's delusional enough to where she doesn't think that it was neglect, because she feels like abuse towards animals is physical, like hitting them or being cruel to them, when this is a form of cruelty. Not clipping their nails when they're geriatric and not having their prescriptions or something filled because you feel like they're too old to continue taking pills to help them throughout the remainder of their lifespan. It's cruel, and I just think she's delusional enough to where, and maybe that's how she was brought up, honestly. I've heard rumblings in the community of her mother not being very favorable with animals as well, so that may just be a family thing. All right, let me. That's almost perfectly framed where I don't have to do anything with it. Let's bring it down over. So this is my menace to society. This is Bowie, the one that gave me the mark of a wizard, Harry. Actually, I have said glasses. We can finally do this up. You gave me the mark of the wizard, Harry. It is sad that she doesn't value her pets more than this. Like, I love my little fuzzballs, even if they're mean. Oh, Half Pint. Thank you for stopping in. You have to take your cat to the vet. Oh, I hope nothing's wrong. I hope it's just like a regular checkup. Oh. But yeah, all my cats are pretty much menaces. An ear infection, oh, that's the worst. They really, cats, at least in my experience, do not like things in their ears. Well, I don't think dogs really do either. I remember having to give one of my one of my 4 eardrops for, I think they had mites when we first got them. And they did not appreciate it much. They fought me very, very much. Aww. $300 fart. I grew up with farm animals for the most part, and we had barn cats that came from a neighbor's house like a mile down the road. And I remember like having my mom taking them in and just caring for them as they would come over, because they would always have like some kind of upper respiratory something going on. And then she would just keep them up in the barn for as long as they'd stay. Which usually wasn't long. Barn cats do not like being kept in places. Let's see here. I know there's some things going on in the TikTok world, and actually, should I turn off the music quite yet? Maybe not quite yet. They got rid of my favorite Reddit subreddit page, Beg Talk. I know, I found, like, I like finding remixes or playlists on here that are like copyright free or, you know, whatever, free to use. And this is a Blade Runner music playlist, believe it or not. Once it gets closer to Halloween, there's going to be a lot of vintage Halloween music played in the backgrounds and the beginnings of the live streams. I can just feel it in my bones. It sure does. It's to match my ghosty here on my arm. I love spooky season. It's my Christmas. Same here, Kiki. I cannot wait for it to go on clearance. I went into Michael's and they have like a lot of cute stuff, but even at 30% off, I am not paying $30 for a bus that I'm gonna have to repaint anyhow. You know what I mean? All right. So, let's give context to this image that I just threw up. I figured we'd cover Emil first. Emily Beastjack on TikTok. He's been doing a lot of off the wall things here lately, like even out of character from his usual stunts. And last night, for whatever reason, he decided to rock these Daisy Dukes with a garter, some thigh highs. He has a foot thing, so he always wears like multiple foot apparel. And he had on these thigh highs and then like these shin length socks over top of them. He was giving a whole bunch of different views for this. But that wasn't even the worst of what happened. Okay, the sound's off on that. The worst of what happened in these shorts. Let's see if this lines up right. Okay, that lines up good enough. There's a whole lot of from the back shots, and then we got this. Now, mind you, he does this, Emil does this when he's fully aware that there are minors in his chat and his live chats, and other people viewing this that may not want to be viewing this just in passing, because on TikTok a lot of the times people just start scrolling through people who are live streaming in the moment. I know a lot of kids do that as well, because there's a lot of gaming live streamers on TikTok as well as various other things, but for the most part you like doom scroll through live streams and you can sometimes come across somebody you've never seen before and like, oh, that's interesting. That's what happened when I came upon his account. Was I was just doom scrolling through people that happened to be live streaming, and boom, this person came up on my screen. And when he first came on there, I was like, oh, I assumed that this was a trans person. And then the more I listened to him, I was like, oh, that's not what this is. What is this? And then he went on to explain himself, and I was like, okay, that's not how this is supposed to be with the DID. He claims to have multiple personalities and he's able to turn them on and off at the drop of a hat. And I was like, that's not how that works. But go on. And then I went into the rabbit hole that is the snark page, and it's not been fun. It has not been fun. Yeah. I could imagine you would need many breaks. Yeah, there's only so much of Emil that I can take. He does like usually like 5-hour live streams that consist of him like coming on. He talks with the chat for a little bit. He starts singing. Sometimes he will bring people like his moderators up on panel to talk with him. And then at the end, it's a dance before they end the live stream for the night. Usually it's in the wee hours of the morning. I'm sorry, I'll get this image. So it looks like it's a mix of both, Kiki, to be quite honest. I think we're getting a peak of sack and a peak of panty. So it's like, I would say 90-10 in that shot. Maybe a little, maybe 95-5. It's just the slightest peak. And then there's like discoloration, which I'm assuming is shadow. I really hope it's shadow. Outside of Elsa, it looks like he doesn't shower. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some discoloration there. I'm, Okay, so they reposted up the video that I wanted to show y'all of him essentially showing a corn site to his live stream when he was aware that they were minors in his live stream at the moment. And he like it was purposeful. He acted like it was an accident, but the way he went about it, and once you guys see it played, you guys will be like, oh, it's most definitely what in the Woody Harrelson. I am sorry, Sam. I am sorry for what you just witnessed. Outside of us, it looks like he does shower. I mean, he probably doesn't much. He was clothed, Sam. Where is the FBI open up meme when you need all right, so here is the video. Let me get it centered in here. There we go. There we go. And here we are. All right. So this, he's fully clothed. This is from the day before. So this would have been Monday's, I think, live stream that this took place. And this was supposedly a boo-boo. So let me pause the music here in the background. My horror collection. I'll show you guys one time. It's scattered about my house. I have VH tapes and DVDs in both the living room and my bedroom. It is almost Halloween. I mean, once September hits, it's Halloween Eve in my book.
And then this one, oh sweet. This video, oh shit, no.
So the blurred out portion obviously was showing explicit body parts unclothed from the corn site that he had a tab open on, and he supposedly accidentally opened up the tab. But if you look there in the beginning, he was showing a totally different page. He was showing a Google page and then specifically clicked on that tab to open it up. So
this one, oh sweet. This video, oh shit, no.
It puts the lotion on, bro. These people are mentally ill. Why are they online? I think this is more so a mix of psychosis and a lot of other mental illness things that have yet to be discovered on this particular person. There is a petition for him specifically to be taken offline. It doesn't. And like, as soon as he did this, even he was cognizant enough to know that, oh, I fucked up. I'm going to have to get off of my live stream now, because if not, people are going to mass report this and they're going to take my channel down again. I don't think he ever got treated enough for the effects of heavy sustained drug use. I don't think he did either. I think at least a part of the personalities I think stem from the extensive drug use. Oh, most definitely, Sam. He seems like a danger to society. He even made a comment, I guess. I'm going to try to find the clip if somebody has clipped the whole live stream or not. But it was mentioned in the subreddits, so I take it with a grain of salt. If I can find the clip, it'll bring validity to he's the reason why Kurt Cobain is dead. But if I can find the clip, it'll bring validity to what is being said. But I wouldn't like, it wouldn't surprise me him saying this out of just out of the blue. But apparently the subreddit has
And this one
logged that he had brought up how he has his son's names on his hands, like on the tops of his hands. And he said in passing during a live stream that when he takes care of himself, he thinks about their names on his hands. And I don't know. That's just it was a weird statement to make, but also in the context of when he was making it, I just felt like it was grotesque. And it's like, I'm so thankful that his ex-wife does not have any interaction with him at all. And the children have no visitation with him. He has, I believe, no rights really over them aside from possibly paying child support. So, yes, a very vomit all over Secret Squirrel. It was gross.
Oh, sweet. This video. Oh, shit, no.
Sam, conveniently, he is not. He is not on the offenders list because he's never had an offense in that matter. He does have terroristic threats. He has domestic violence, things like that, but he doesn't have that on his list yet. I say yet
window.
because
this is the
with
problem
him
with the tablet,
having
Jordan.
these,
The things are.
I just realized that the audio was playing in the background, but him having these relationships with these people on his live streams, and some of them he's understanding that are minors. He does sound like Cyrex, especially when he starts rapping. I don't know what it is about these people that think that they can do these things well, but they do not. And his is the singing and rapping. It just reminded me of like Cyrex doing his rapping, this shameless unearned confidence. Yeah. And like, don't get me wrong, Emil, before he became what he is today, I could see him being attractive to the alternative crowd. Like, he had that look about him. He looked like he came from a fucking a mix between a boy band and a heavy metal band. Like maybe a split from oh, what the hell are they called? The Netherland metal or something like that. Something to that aesthetic before this showed up. Borderline King Cobra, Cobes vibes, yeah. Yeah, it seems like the rotting teeth and everything follow along suit with these people in the same effect. Good lord. But that was pretty much the update on him. I mean, we have more like dancing stuff and him trying to gyrate and show himself to people and just saying like really out of pocket things. Here's another one where he was a little out of pocket with what he was saying on live stream to people. Kiki, I am surprised he doesn't either. I know somebody in the snark page and in his comment section of one of his random accounts said that, you know, you take almost all of that money. Like OnlyFans only takes, I think, like 20% or something like that of what you make. So you're taking more home than you would be making on TikTok from gifts and such. So whether or not he takes them up on that is yet to be seen. I'm sure he probably does have some kind of account out there. I'm not going to be the one to go searching it out, but it hasn't been mentioned on the snark page, so I'm assuming that nobody has found something like that in his name or likeness. Average Fat Life user.
Kitty, this is Barbie. This right here. Thank you for the green eyes. I'll give you my brown eye. This is Barbie right here. Aw, thank you, baby G. It's like you have my balls in your hands. Thank you, baby. So this is Barbie right here. Barbie is my baby. That was so funny. Thank you. Emily, I always have humor. It'll infect you like a tumor. No joke. I'll take your chicken consumer. Mwah. So this is Barbie right here. Barbie is my baby boy. He's named Barbie because we thought he was a...
Yeah. So that's kind of how he interacts with his live stream chatters. Very inappropriate, especially knowing the company that he keeps. Apparently one of his mods, Jordy, which they also have a snark page on her because she's a mother of, I think, 2 or 3 children and a wife, and continues to mod his chats and flirt and talk sexually with him during the live streams. And people are just like wondering what that dynamic is, to where she is going that route with him voluntarily when she's married and has children at home. I'm not here to kink shame. He reminds me of a local urban legend of a woman that burned her babies alive and wore a Street Fighter Vega mask, sort of like the Tooth Fairy from that one horror film. Good Lord, Sam. Someone called the maker for Barbie. They might want to sue. I think Jordy sent him that outfit too. I don't know. It's just really weird, the dynamic that he has with his mods. They're all women. They're all like young 20s to middle-aged women that heavily donate to him. Darkness Falls. Oh yeah, that was a good one. He's just, that boy ain't right. He's not right. Let's see, there was another talking point that I wanted to make. I don't really want to bring up the whole Chantal and the cats again, because I think it's a fucking beaten talking point. Lord. There's really nothing new to add to the conversation aside from the fact that she continuously is delusional about the care of her pets from the past and present. It's played. Yeah. I'm at this point, I'm just convinced that it is a rage bait. She's needing something to boost her views momentarily, because they never last that long, and to try to take advantage of a talking point because of having told the internet that she has, after over a year, not fixed her cat. So I will let her continue to rage about that and just be like, you're delusional. There's no more I can say about it. The woman is unhinged. And when she started talking about her diet, what was the fucking title of that video that she did? Like off my diet, or what the hell was it? Full day of eating off track. And I'm just like, when were you on track? You did a grocery haul that consisted of many boxes of ice creams. And when you showed them again, you literally had like one in each box left. When were you on a diet? The people would love to know. Yeah, consistently off the diet. Consistently eating. I mean, I'm a big girl, but goddamn, seeing how she puts shit away gives me indigestion. I could, for the love of God, slow down eating. As I drink my full sugar juice with water added because I can't stand the full strength. It's too sweet. And then I've heard rumblings of Amberlynn's thirst talks, whatever the fuck she's doing on TikTok, and the impending visit of Emily. Seeing her swallow anything, Sam, will put you in a fucking trauma, fight or flight response. Like, is she going to stab me with a fork and try to swallow me whole next? Like, it's a new perspective to whatever the fuck feeder content that she is catering to. I'm assuming it's borderlining the vor content that most feeder fetishists get into. It's unsettling. She is literally unhinging her jaw most times, and you can hear it try to click back into place when she chews, but the chews are pretty sparse. It's more of a bite and swallow, much like an alligator. But at least an alligator will give you a death roll. ALR should no longer appear on anyone's platform. Her intestines are like those killer clown candy canes. The cotton candy. Yeah, I have actually I'll post the link in chat for anybody who wants to listen on their own accord to what I'm listening to, but it's just like a playlist, and it is in the aesthetic of like Blade Runner. I change up like what we're listening to every once in a while. I don't normally have the same playlist on. I have like a bunch of them saved because I'll be scrolling and I'll hear a song and I'm like, oh, I wonder if anybody's got a playlist of this on YouTube. Metric, right? But yeah, as far as Amberlynn, I can't see me making any pre-recorded content on her, and I'm just talking about her in passing here, and it's just the fact that I know Emily is due to arrive. Are we going to see Tiffany Hainyard? I have not. Let's see who that is, because I am not familiar. Oh, nice. I'm taking notes, people. Trust I'm taking notes. Tiffany Hinyard. Super Mayor Tiffany Hinyard refuses to take a credit card. Oh, she's a mayor? I'll have to watch some like backstory on this to get context on what's going on, but it already sounds interesting. Special meeting, clickbait. She refuses to leave and they can't fire her. They had Lori Lightfoot investigating her. I'm gonna bookmark it and I'll come back to it. Maybe we'll do it on next Monday's live stream, talk about this, or maybe I'll do an actual recorded video on it. That's wild. Who was the other name? Ships in the Night. Is it Ships of the Night, Dark Places? Okay, I'm gonna save this playlist. Suave. Alright. Got it saved. The corrupt mayor drama is kind of boring in my opinion. I heard about her from those First Amendment channels. I mean, I'll look into it. It seems interesting. It seems kind of off the wall. Title is Time Something. I know there was a couple that are on TikTok. Oh, I better mute the site once I bring it up, because I know it's gonna blare. Mute. Okay. But my husband sent me this wild TikTok account, and it's a couple, and they seem to be either heavily on the influence or coming off the influence. But they seem interesting, and they also seem to be funded by Mountain Dew. And let me see if I can even find them again. I'll have to log into my account. Do I have any logged in? I know he sent me one video, and then I was like, oh, who are these people? Seem interesting. He's like, yeah, send them because they seem like up your alley. And I went down the rabbit hole, and I found that they really love their Mountain Dew. Various flavors of Mountain Dew, but they really love their Mountain Dew. And there's probably 4 teeth shared between the two.
Right.
I believe it said that they were from somewhere in Ohio, which, I mean, certain parts of Ohio, that would be totally fitting. I feel like that's pretty on par. Sounds like they're from Florida. Look, I am not a Florida native. I am a transplant to Florida, so you can bash on Florida all you want. I know it's wild here. I willingly came to a place where I knew that I'd heard multiple stories on bath salts and people being zombies. Yeah, my husband's not even originally from here. He's also a transplant, but he's lived here longer. Absolutely loves Mountain Dew. Hey, but a lot of people out in the sticks love Mountain Dew too. It's a toss-up between Mountain Dew or Faygo. Those are pretty popular staples in a lot of Midwest, southernmost north territories. It's weird saying like southern Ohio because Ohio is northern. I have a Pennsylvania witchcraft vibe. I don't believe I've ever been to Pennsylvania, but it's close enough to where I grew up, I guess. I'm actually from Ohio and then lived part of my life in Virginia. And then from there I kind of bounced around Indiana, Kentucky, Texas, Florida. Florida's where I've been. If I were to ever move from here, like my dream, like if I win the lottery ever, or if I ever won the lottery or came into some kind of, I don't know, weird inheritance that I wasn't aware of, I would definitely move to like Massachusetts, something actually spooky. My granddaughter is now into doing juggalo makeup. I guess I should be grateful she quit giving herself bad tattoos. As a native Ohioer, how does it feel that Ohio has become a Gen Alpha meme? I mean, I know my people. It's good and the bad, honestly. We've got the good and the bad. Like most any places have good and the bad. I think we just have more more crazy than others. I always feel like it's crazy stories coming out of Ohio and Florida. Sometimes like Oklahoma or Kentucky, but for the most part, I feel like most of the stories that I hear that are crazy are coming from those two states. The internet's just wild, y'all. I know. Just wild. Good Lord. You know what I love most about the internet? I think it's Twitter. Twitter is wild. The amount of edited meme, like short meme content that comes out of there sometimes can be brilliant. I am kind of over the hypersexualized everything, especially any post that has any kind of traction on X. It seems to be picked up by OnlyFriends people or people trying to sell their wares. I mean, you have your own site for that. If you want to advertise, cool, but maybe not to a post showing a puppy and a kitten and, you know, family content, or, you know, I feel like there's a time and place for it. It's not for every popular post. I wish I was never introduced to Alphabet. I'm assuming you mean X. Or Alphabet as in Alphaba. Oh, that that person, I don't know what their pronouns are, but that person is a train wreck. I saw their meltdown over people interfering with the parent job that they had lined up. The singing job or whatever they got, the singing gig. I think it was to do with Wicked, wasn't it? Elphaba looks like they have fetal alcohol syndrome, respectfully. I mean, respectfully, I think they do have fetal alcohol syndrome. I wonder if they have, I'm sure they do. Reddit has everything. There's a subreddit for every problematic person. I think it's this one. Surely it's not, because there's no post. So I mean, this was from 11 days ago. This is no longer really relevant. Good Lord. Yeah, I saw the multiple posts that she had done when she was getting ready for, I guess, this job. She was rehearsing songs from Wicked. Have you ever met any of the original Scream Queens of horror films? Which were your favorite horror film actors you've met, or who do you want to meet? Random question. I have not met any original Scream Queen of horror films. Who I would love to meet would probably be who would I want to meet? I know I would love to meet Matthew Lillard. He just seems like a peach. Like, he seems like the sweetest fucking person in the world, and I say that with like no idea outside of him as an actor, but I always see him at conventions and he seems like the sweetest fucking person. Well, let me go through let me give a look-see-loo over just the top Scream Queens of throughout history. I really like Jamie Lee Curtis's mom in the original Alfred Hitchcock. Janet Leigh, I think that was her name, from Psycho. Maybe Heather Langenkamp from Nightmare on Elm Street. She seems like she'd be pretty cool to meet. Definitely Toni Collette. I would love to meet her just because I feel like she's an amazing actress. But the work that she does in horror films are just like chef's kiss. Like, she is an amazing actress. Kathy Bates. Oh my god, Kathy Bates, yes. I love Kathy Bates. Few of them will DM chat with fans, like the sleepaway camp chick. Oh, that's pretty cool. Mia Goth. I like Mia Goth's I'm a Good Wife. I remembered that much. I'm not a fan of that movie. I think it was too kitschy. I much preferred the remake that they made in, I think it was like 2006. I felt it was more aggressive, more raw, and everybody acted their asses off in that movie. It was great. It was terrifying, but it was great.
Whatever your stage, businesses that grow with Shopify. For your $1 a month.
See, I know there are a few horror movies that I have in my log of what I like. The thing that sucks about horror movies nowadays is they are remakes upon remakes of things that are already out there. Like we have Nosferatu coming out this year, which is a remake of a remake of a remake. We have The Crow, which I guess it's not really a horror film. I think it's more of like a supernatural type thriller. What else is coming out horror movie wise? I know there was the one more coming out for 2024. I have not seen Longlegs yet. I'm touch and go with Nicolas Cage led horror movies. I've seen some of him that are great. I've seen some that are not so great, but I loved the direction he was going in with it. It just didn't hit. I've heard a lot about the Longlegs. I just haven't watched it yet. I'm probably going to do that sometime soon. I kind of want my husband to get into doing a horror movie, just chit chats here soon on my other channel. Oh, thank you, cowboy. But I would love to get into like horror movie, like just chit chats on the movie. Kind of like a horror movie book club, but without books, it's watching the movie. Because that's the one thing that my husband and I both have like in common the most, is the love for horror movies. That's the thing that won him over. The Devil's Bath is one I'm wanting to watch. What's your favorite horror movie of all time? My favorite horror movie of all time, like without a doubt, I will never get tired of ever watching it, is The Exorcist. Set it up on Discord. I should make a Discord. I have yet to make one. Yeah, Exorcist, by far my favorite movie. The only movie that has ever given me nightmares. And I love possession movies. Like I watched Heretic. I've watched I think I have the box set of the Exorcist movies as well. But I've watched all of them. No one compares to the first Exorcist. Hereditary was amazing. Hereditary was amazing. And what was the other? Ari Aster film. Midsummer I thought was great for what it was. I have Beau is Afraid downloaded to watch, but I have yet to watch it. I don't know. I'm touch and go with Jacqueline Phoenix. Jacqueline Phoenix. Yes, I'm horrible at pronouncing pretty sounding names. But I'm touch and go with his acting. I thought he was great in Joker. But there's been other things that I've watched of his that I'm just like, I don't know. Joaquin. Can I ask if you're streaming on Twitch OBS? The setup looks so cute. I'm still learning. I'm streaming on OBS right now. If you ever want pointers, I can do like pointers for people that have never set up OBS before. I can make it on my archiving channel. Oh, no problem, cowboy. I always tinker around with my stuff. I am a Libra and I get tired of things. Like I will learn things to almost perfection, and then by the time I've learned it to perfection, I'm tired of it and I move on. So my setup will always probably change with whatever mood I'm in and what I'm fixating on in the time being. Right now it's Killer Clowns. I'm very fixated on Killer Clowns things. I have been for a few years now, but I've been slowly adding things to my with ADHD. I feel that. I also have some paintings coming up in the works. I'm doing some horror themed paintings that'll be showcased back there somewhere. Have I been playing the Killer Clown game? I played it the day that it came out. I bought it, downloaded it, played it the day it came out. I didn't like it. I loved everything about it, like the idea of it and everything. I didn't like the fact that you had to essentially win the games to accrue points enough to basically buy the skins of other clown characters. So I didn't much like that, and I didn't like the fact that you didn't have a choice over if you were playing as the clown or the kids. They were supposed to, but I think it's like dead in the water right now. A lot of movies are being put on the shelf because they want to push stuff that's maybe a sure thing at hitting box offices and doing well. And I think a lot of the people, like, while the story initially sounded nice and like it was gonna go somewhere, it's kind of hard to like do a remake scene for scene, just updated. I don't know. They don't seem to do well as the initial films, and Killer Clowns is one of those films that even though it's goofy and kind of horror comedy, it was still done so well. Critters and Tremors both got played out. Yeah. And what's even funnier is Killer Clowns, the masks and like puppets that were used for the clowns were actually reused from Trolls, I believe. I want to be 100% certain on that. Yeah. The troll masks from Ernest Scared Stupid, not from the movie Trolls. But it was from Ernest Scared Stupid were remade to the Killer Clowns that we saw in the Killer Clowns movie, and the masks behind me. Those were repurposed from Ernest Scared Stupid, which is another great like kids horror movie. Nostalgia. Tremors was good for like the first, and I believe the second one was still good. After that, dumb. They were dumb. They should have done no more. I think even in one of the later ones, they brought Reba back. Yeah, the new It was good. I liked the reimagining of that. I feel like they made it even scarier, even though I feel like Tim Curry's was still scary. I will always be a Tim Curry fan, but I liked what Skarsgård brought to Pennywise. Sharknado films. Yeah. The Sharknado films took on another entity. Like there was like what was the weirdest one that I saw? The last Sharknado. There was one shark themed horror movie that was literally zombies took over the shark carcass and were going around chasing people. Twisters 2024 was awesome. That's another one that I wanted to watch. Did it do the original film any justice? I live in Iowa, so I get to see Twisters for free. Oh, Samar, it's fine. I can have my brother-in-law download most movies for free for me from probably similar sites. He has a few on hold for me because I wanted him to download the full series. What the hell was it? Interview with the Vampire. So I have that in my queue right now. I still have to find the time to sit down and watch those when he gets them downloaded. You just started the show last night. I've heard so many good things, and I loved Interview with the Vampire. I love a lot of Anne Rice's books, and I loved Interview with the Vampire. The original movie was so great. But I've heard this is on par for being comparable to the original. I was always hopeful that she would have made a Pandora a movie, a live action Pandora. Did they ever make a Memnoch the Devil? No. I wish they would have done more of her other vampire novels. I think they were all really well written for the most part. Mayfair Witches. How was the show? Although the storm before last, no one told me that if you're close enough, the outside looks green. Oh, secret squirrel here? No. Florida is very humid right now. I just like sprayed the outside of my windows for algae blooms. Referencing tornadoes. Yeah, the outside of my windows look like a green hue because we have algae blooms on the outside of our windows from moisture. It sucks. I had to like spray vinegar on my windows this morning. The outsides. The insides are fine. Moisture here is no joke. And the mosquitoes are a menace. Don't want to watch the Witches remake because the Hocus Pocus remake ruined it. I haven't even watched the Hocus Pocus remake. I think the only witch remake that I've watched like within the last few years was The Witches with I think Anne Hathaway was in the remake. She played the head witch. I didn't really care for the remake. The original Witches was so cute. Did you see the Vivitch? I know that's how it's spelled. Yes, I thought that was a very good movie. I loved the end, the living deliciously. And the fact that we knew it was the black goat all along. Kevin. I even dug the ending scene where like they floated up in the nude circle. It was very like, it gave me everything that I wanted from Rob Zombie's witch movie with his wife. The Lords of Salem. I feel like the Lords of Salem had such a good build up and the end was trash. But I loved the soundtrack. The Ritual was good. There was another like ritual-esque priest movie. Korean horror, The Medium. My husband keeps on trying to get me into Korean horror and Japanese horror films, but he tried to get me rooted in with I think it was called the White Dragon or something like that, and I was like, I don't like it. If this is what you thought was scary, I don't like it. I've heard Korean horror films are good. I think the only Korean horror that I've watched was it Sweet Home or Sweet Home or something like that. Yeah, Sweet Home. I watched that. I thought it was great. I haven't watched I think there's supposed to be a second season. Or there's 3 seasons. Holy shit. I am behind. I watched the first season and I thought it was good. I may have when I still had, because some of the Korean horror that I watched was on Netflix. Is it The Wailing or The Walling? The Wailing. Let me look at the screenshots of it. So is this essentially like Cabin Fever, but Korean? Exhuma was good too, about shamanistic ritual. Mass Hysteria, yeah. I thought Cabin Fever was good just for putting that out there. Like, such kind of a simplistic horror movie with a virus spreading, and it happened to be a flesh-eating virus that just killed you within hours. Or I guess some of it was within days. It was however you contracted it. A 24-hour live stream, horror live stream. Let's go. Hey, listen, I love horror movies. You can get me talking about horror movies the whole time. I will not be disappointed in that. I love horror movies. Exuma. I'm putting these on my list of things to download and watch. My husband will love the Korean horror films. It's closer to his Japanese horror films that he likes. He likes those kind of films, those aesthetic films. We kind of have started this kind of tradition of, especially closer to like Halloween season, where we go to our local places that have old VHS and try to find horror films that maybe we haven't seen before or haven't heard of before, and just buy them for the aesthetic of having vintage horror films for one, but also watching things we haven't seen before. I think there was only one, I think it was Japanese, don't quote me on it, but it was The Audition. Not the Robert De Niro, Leonardo DiCaprio Audition. Is this considered Japanese? Yeah, so this is Japanese horror film, The Audition. I thought that was pretty good film. I think that was the only one that was like, oh, this is good. This girl is torturing this man. I like. Tale of Two Sisters. Ooh, I like just the cover of the film poster, I guess. And it has a 7.1 rating. Okay. Adding it to my list of movies to download. I'm reading the IMDb overview of kind of the plot of the movie. So this is more like a Hell House almost, A Tale of Two Sisters. I mean, despite the mental hospital thing. Return to live to their country home. Strange events plague the house, leading to surprise revelations and shocking conclusions. Oh, yes. I did watch that one. I didn't like remember what the name of it was, but I do remember that specific story. The Chinese woman eating the dumplings with their tiny human babies. It was to do something, though. It had like some special effect on her. That's the reason she was doing it. I don't know if it was to keep her youthful or... It was to stay young. I knew there was a reason she was eating. I was like, what was the reason she ate them? It was for something. Either she was sick or spinsters of horror. Yeah, that was a wild one. I liked that one though. I thought it was neat. Yeah, Audition's the only one that I've watched, and that's what I was like, oh, maybe I should give Japanese horror another chance, because if I can find more like this, I liked that. The bamboo shoots up the fingernails were the ceiling of that one. From Hell, Ultimate Movie, Barbarian. Barbarian, I was not a fan of. I love Jason Long. Is it Jason or Justin? Justin. I love Justin Long. I feel like he's amazing in horror movies. Well, pretty much anything that you put him in, I think he's amazing in. He's a very ranged actor. He can play comedy, he can play serious roles, he can play the thrillers. I think he's pretty good. I, however, was not so much a fan of that movie. I feel like the part was pretty level on his acting as was Tusk. They were pretty pretty similar in the acting. But I love Justin Long. He's an amazing actor. Barbarian was a rough one. And what's so crazy is like, it was just the ending. I feel like the ending was so rushed. They didn't know how to end the film. And so that's why it fumbled so hard for an ending. But the beginning of the movie was great. Like, I loved where we were going with it. Where it ended was a stinker. And that's the only thing that got me, was the ending. From Hell was great. I loved From Hell. It had the balance of comedy and horror and the gross. I loved the possessed goat dancing. Or the possessed goat didn't dance, but the guy after the possessed goat danced, and that was hilarious. It was such a good horror film, I feel. Was another good comedy / horror that had good horror in it. Oh, another good remake that they did was the Evil Dead remakes. I've loved both that they've done so far. The Evil Dead Rising was amazing. The ending, not great, but I think they purposely leave Evil Dead's open-ended so that there's always that mystery of like, well, what's happening now after all of this happens. But the Evil Dead remake that they did, when was the remake? 2013? Yeah. I thought that was amazing. It was really good. I love horror movies like that. The gory. It kind of brings you back to like the gory. I wouldn't even say they're cheaply made. Was it Brain Dead? 1992. No. What was the name of that stupid movie? Dead Alive, maybe? Yeah, Dead Alive. The don't breathe ending, once you escaped, why go back in the house? Yeah. Some horror movies are like, obviously, the heroine, the person you're supposed to be rooting for, has a lapse of brain cells. And you're like sitting there screaming. But Dead Alive was another like gory movie for just the sake of being gory. Like they could have left a lot of the gore out of it, but it had a lot of good practical effects and puppetry and stuff in it that I really loved. And the comedy and horror side by side was great. The grandmother, or the man's mother, was bitten by some kind of special rat monkey and essentially made a zombie. It was just so great. The house that Jack built was a really good final scene as far as gore effects go. Yeah. Actually, we rewatched this fairly recently. Till this day, I legit won't say Candyman or Bloody Mary in a mirror. Have they ever made a like rationally scary Bloody Mary film? I know Candyman they've done fairly okay with. I didn't watch the remake that they've done, or has that even came out yet? I know they were talking about making one. Oh, they did. 2021. Man, I'm behind on some horror movies. It only got a 5.9 rating. I'll still watch it because, I mean, Jordan Peele, I feel like, is a very good storyteller. So I guess I owe that. Maybe those nun movies about the ghost hunter couple. I don't know. Maybe the Lorna films. The Conjuring movies. The Conjuring movies were good. With, I think it's like Fred and Lorraine. I think it was Fred and Lorraine. Something in Lorraine. I know Lorraine was the wife's name. My favorite horror movie, I haven't seen many live action, is Visitor Q, but I think it's more of a psychological thriller with heavy gore violence. I wouldn't recommend to everyone. It can be upsetting. I do love thrillers.
So you're on YouTube watching how to make popcorn, but did you know there's
A troubled and perverted family find their lives intruded by a mysterious stranger who seems to help find balance in their disturbing natures.
Turns out
Ooh.
porn is pretty hardcore.
Listen for free.
I'm gonna save it. See if my husband wants to watch it with me. Yeah, Train to Busan, I've seen. I saw The Devil. I'm not 100%. I've seen so many horror movies. Is this a... Who is in this? It looks familiar. I'm not sure that I've... Oh, okay. Yeah, my husband made me watch this. I saw bits and pieces of it. I'm gonna put it back on my list though. Maybe I should watch the whole thing. Train to Busan with English audio. There was another goofy film that we ran across when we started going VHS hunting. Is it like on par, Kiki, is it on par with, what the hell was the name of that film? The Serbian film? Because I thought Serbian film was a little excessive, but I understood it was a shock horror. So I don't know if y'all are fans of like vintage aesthetic horror. Yeah, no babies necessarily, but definitely sexual violence and necrophilia. Okay, so I mean, I will watch those films and try to put myself in like what were their reasons for showing certain things. As far as like the plot was concerned, like was this necessary? Serbian film was a shock and awe horror film. The things that they showed in that film were meant to be over the top for the shock value. Parents movie, but if y'all are fans of, I think it's Dan Aykroyd, Randy Quaid, Dan Aykroyd, different actor. I don't know why he was on my mind. I don't think he's been in horror movies. Randy Quaid, Mary Beth Hurt, Sandy Dennis, Brian Madorsky. Very good 1940s, 1950s aesthetic horror film, like based in 1950s suburbia, and it's essentially cannibals and a child's perspective of their parents being cannibals in the 1950s. It's got its humorous moments, but I think it is supposed to be strictly horror. I think it's just Randy Quaid is not really a horror actor, so I've always ever seen him in comedy. That would be fun. I'll put that in my my queue for when I don't want to talk about Amberlynn and Chantal. I love horror films. I've watched so many. I was really into werewolf horror films for a while. Very into werewolf. Listen, I'm not a furry, but something about Van Helsing, werewolves in general was nice. I will look into setting up a Discord, and if I do set one up, I will link it in my community tab, and y'all can have at it, whatever, and we can plan for some nights. I met Randy Quaid at a blackjack's table in Vegas once. He was low-key quiet and depressed. He must have lost a lot. When was this? Was it recent, or was it because how old is Randy Quaid? He is 73. Holy hell, he is 6'5". Back in 2014. So apparently they have like YouTube videos of like what happened to Randy Quaid, and apparently he racked up a $10,000 hotel bill in California and fled and defrauded an innkeeper. Wild. It's weird when you like see actors that maybe you've grown up watching for the longest time, and you forget that they're actual people that have actual lives outside of entertainment. And see like their like a lot of their downfalls. It's kind of sad. Oh. Going through the old movies of Dennis Quaid, Randy Quaid, the Quaids. You need a pink lemonade break. Drink some Dr. Pepper. Get comfortable for another 6 hours on live stream. No, I've got Arizona Mucho Mango fruit juice cocktail that is watered down because it's too sweet. I'm like falling down the rabbit hole of vintage horror movies. Mom and Dad was another one. That's a Nicolas Cage horror movie that was pretty good. Selma Blair. It was great. But that's not vintage. I'm more into Society. I forgot about that movie. We have that one on VHS. I believe it's a signed copy. And then we got like a vintage smut film. Well, it was recorded to have the aesthetic of a smut film, but it was so painfully bad special effects that we ended up shutting it off and just laughing about it. But we have it. It's in our thing, and we will play it probably on a TV for Halloween. I feel like your dream job would be to own a glow-in-the-dark haunted themed bowling alley, movie theater, arcade in Florida. You can name a drink after me for the idea. I would love to own, I mean, I don't think it's as lucrative here, but I would love to own a horror themed anything. I think it would be so cute. I know there's quite a few like horror themed, I think they're bars closer to like Orlando and Tampa and further out. Oh, Brioche, it's okay. This was impromptu anyhow. We're talking horror films right now. Brain Damage. There was one that I think this was the actual one, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Brain Damage is a wild fucking horror movie. A horror themed restaurant like Addams Family vibe. Yeah, that would be pretty cool. Where you get to throw fake blood on the floor. A kaiju themed bar with cocktails themed after famous monsters around the world and a classic monster themed mini golf. Yeah, Kiki, I think they're, I mean, I have so many windows open. Don't mind me. Don't mind the head behind the curtain. I know even like right after I left Texas, they opened up the Friday the 13th themed. I don't know if it's just a store or it might even be a restaurant. No, it's a hotel, isn't it? It's something like that. I went to a speakeasy themed bar. It was so well done. There was a homeless guy sleeping outside and I genuinely thought I was in the wrong place. Horror themed. I'm gonna say restaurants. Because I think it would be more apt to go to a restaurant over a bar. I just don't like, I'm too old for bars now. I don't think the homeless guy was part of the theme. Oh my god. Oh. It looks like they have a spooky themed pub in St. Pete. Oh, great. That website doesn't want to work. Spookeasy Lounge in Tampa. Jagged Mind. It sounds familiar. I have to like look these up when you guys say something so I can like refresh my memory. I've watched so many freaking horror films. This doesn't look like one that I've watched though. Let's see what the plot is. Plagued by blackouts and strange visions led her to discover she's stuck in a series of time loops possibly related to her mysterious new girlfriend. Oh, I guess it was a short. No, I'm ending things. I'm thinking of ending things. So Jagged Mind, by plot alone, because I've never watched the movie, I don't know what it's actually like, but by just how the plot reads, it sounds familiar to I'm thinking of ending things. Yes. I didn't get a chance to watch it, but I'm aware of like the plot line of it. I read the synopsis, and then I also watched like the spoiler of a trailer for it. Why do they want to spoil you in trailers of these movies? Would you purge if purge was a real thing? You already have the masks. Actually, I guess yes, the masks to cover my face, but I thought you were referring to, I have a mask up in this corner that can't be seen because the chat's covering it now, so I don't think I have my camera pointed that far over, but it's a video game character's mask. Payday? It's like American flag clown mask. My husband liked that game. My husband used to collect when video games or movies would first come out, he used to collect like the collector's edition things. So you would get like random things that would come with either the video game or the movie. And I think his Payday set came with that mask. But he's also gotten some like samurai type video game things and gotten like little samurai swords. It's cute. But onto who I would purge if the purge was real. Or if I would purge if the purge was real. I can't think of anybody offhand. I'm just not one of those people that hate people that aggressively. I think if the purge were to happen and anything under the sun was legal, I would just steal things. I mean, because anything is legal. It's not just taking life. So I would be like getting myself a new TV, getting myself new electronics. I'd be getting myself clothes that I couldn't afford, fragrances that I couldn't afford, things like that. I wonder if you could steal a house technically during purge. I'm assuming if you like stole the deed for the house. If you knew your way around a government building, you could steal the deed. Or you can just get squatters' rights. At least for like, I don't know. People have gotten squatters' rights and been squatting in houses for years. I'm not one for revenge fantasies, but there's one person that's got to go. The world would be better off for it. I don't know. I think it's just my old age. I'm just like, I don't have enough space in my mind to be hateful almost. I don't know. It's just, if you're not affecting my, well, even if it wasn't affecting my, like, I just don't, sometimes I just don't care. Saltburn, I have yet to watch. I heard there's many interesting parts of that film. I saw the record that they made for the soundtrack. Very interesting. You'd need a safe getaway plan. Remember, during the riots, a dude walked out with a PS3 and iPads and got jumped by the looters. It's supposed to be a take on vampire movies. Saltburn was? I don't have hate for that. Excuse me. I don't have hate for that person anymore. I think that's the only time I've ever felt hate, but that intensely, but it was warranted. What? I mean, I could see it, the plot line being like a, what do they call it? The emotional vampires, or what are they called? So at the film's premiere, the director said that metaphorically, Saltburn is a vampire film. That's what I saw it as, Brioche, like a commentary on wealth. But energy vampire, yes, that's what I was going for, Kiki. I was trying to, like, my old brain, I think I just watch and absorb so much that it's hard for me to, like, go back and Rolodex my memory for reference. Twilight vampire. I was thinking What We Do in the Dark vampires. They're dumb rich people that think poor people are cute playthings. Yeah. I love the first thing that I'd ever seen Barry Koenig in, to my recollection, was the Marvel movie. It wasn't Marvel. So it wasn't Barry Koenig, Keegan. I think that's what his name is. His last name. The Eternals. I watched The Eternals. I know a lot of people stunk on that Marvel movie, but I thought it was good. People were mad about how he acquired the wealth, and they were like, what's the point? Called the movie dumb, but what is the point of extreme wealth anyway, especially when you hoard it? The movie Men, the old English looking movie. Oh my God. Sam, you need to go through and watch that movie. It is such a clusterfuck. It is so well filmed that it kind of like throws you for a loop of how goofy it is. The scenery was gorgeous. The way things were filmed was gorgeous. But some of the things that woman, I understand it was like a take on people's trauma, and I thought it was very good for what it was. But holy shit, there were so many things in that film that when I was watching with my husband, I was like, that's a red flag. That's a red flag. That's a red flag. Why is she not seeing these red flags? As like that little kid has an adult's head on him. Why is she not seeing that that's an adult head on a child? The Arcadian. I don't know if that's been one that I've watched. Maybe I have. It's like, why is she not mentioning that like all these people's faces match? Like you wouldn't be able to tell all these people's faces matched? Yeah. And the birthing scene, oh my god. It was filmed great. It was the storyline so funny. Yeah, almost like all of them dismissing her, they're all endorsing the harassment. It was just wild. I know that was one my husband was like, oh, we gotta watch this, we gotta watch this, we gotta watch this. And I was like, oh, I don't know. I was like, I watched the trailer and I was like, it doesn't look that great. But we ended up watching it and we ended up both liking it. It's just bizarre. This article said she should have been nicer to her boyfriend or something, like blamed his actions on her. I was like, dude, rewatch the movie, please. I think it's definitely like one of those films that you could rewatch a few times and catch things that maybe you missed in the first watches, because you are trying to focus on so much within the film that you miss like the little nuances of like little red flags that you would see elsewhere. And it was just a bizarre, especially towards the end. The end, it like amped up dramatically. What are like new horror films for 2025? Oh, they're making another Final Destination. Please stop. Please stop. Please. Please, please. The vicar also being a perv shows the corruption that also lies in authority figures. Yeah. Brioche, I'm waiting until it comes to streaming, and I'm waiting for it to come off of the high ticket price. I want to just rent it. Unless it's something like I'm going to want to go out and buy after. I'd rather just rent it to see if it's worth it. And it may be one that I get on VHS because I like that aesthetic better when it comes to those kind of films. You saw it in theaters for cheap? Oh, maybe I should see if our drive-in's doing it. Our drive-in is cheaper than going into the theater. So it looks like this is the lineup for 2025 as far as horror movies are concerned. We're getting another Saw for 2025. We're getting a Final Destination Bloodlines in 2025. We're getting The Wolfman 2025. Not gonna lie, I think I'm a little bit excited about that. We're getting a 28 years later. I think this is based off of the 28 days or weeks later. I know there's a horror movie 28 days later or weeks later, and then there's the comedy, not comedy, the romance movie with Sandra Bullock. We have The Monkey, which I've never heard of. I'm assuming it's based off of something. We have another Conjuring with the Warrens. Is it Warrens? I think that's their last name. We're getting a Megan 2.0. Bambi the Reckoning. The Black Phone 2. Vicious. Screamboat. Untitled Ryan Coogler film. Okay, I'm interested. Five Nights at Freddy's 2. The Woman in the Yard. We're getting another Exorcist, and I don't know how to feel about it. Final Destination needs one movie for every generation so we can all carry the same trauma. We can all carry that same fear of the devil coming for us. Or not the devil. Or I guess karma coming for us. I was behind a logging truck once and I was shook. We have Thread, An Insidious Tale. We have Companion. We're getting another Dracula, A Love Tale. I'm going to have to look into that because I do love Dracula. The Raja Saab. Is that a horror movie? I'm hoping that's a thriller. There's an Exorcist series I don't care to see. I didn't mind the remake. Or was it even a remake? It wasn't a remake. It was just an ongoing in that series. So it looks like the plotline for 2025 Exorcist Deceiver is that Father Harris investigates teenage Emily's demonic possession by Asmodeus and Hazelwood. Who is the cast? Is there a cast? Which is really crazy for The Exorcist to go this route and making movies to prolong that franchise. But the series that they did I felt was good, but it fell off because it just wasn't popular enough. I binge watch movies more than I binge watch TV shows. I'm a mix of both. It depends on what the show is, and then it depends on what the movie is. But I'm definitely a fan of quite a few of these. What is the bride going to be? Is this Frankenstein's bride? Who is this? So this looks like a take on Frankenstein's bride. It says Euphronius. To help create a companion, they give life to a murdered woman as the bride, sparking romance, police interest, and radical social change in 1930s. I'm for it. They need more Bride of Frankenstein movies, honestly. We need more Frankenstein. The super demon movies are too much for me. My friend tried to get me to watch Jaw, and it's too much for me. I like some of the silly gore movies, like Evil Dead. I feel was like silly gore. Not the remake, but the original. Do you like sci-fi and fantasy? I do. I have a like sci-fi fantasy. It's not horror. I think it's comedy. I think. And I think it's like something Bronco. Gentleman Bronco. Gentleman Broncos. I have that on my list of movies to watch just because I keep on seeing clips on TikTok and it's just so out there. And I'm like, I need to watch it. I need to watch it. It seems like right up my alley. I need to watch it. Yeah, Kiki, I agree. I feel like we haven't really done a good rendition of Frankenstein. I also feel a good rendition, like a really good rendition of Wolfman hasn't been done. We have had the Del Toro's Wolfman, which I think was the closest contender to being a good rendition of the Wolfman. And now Blumhouse is doing the Wolfman, and hopefully this one will turn out okay. I wonder what the cast is looking like for this Wolfman 2025. Let's see what the cast list is here. So we have Julia Garner, Christopher Abbott, and Sam Yeager. I don't know how to feel about it. Recently I finished 3 Body Problem, which you'd think doesn't have gore, but there's one scene that left me so shook. Frankenstein, could you set a good plot for commentary on generational trauma or abandonment issues? Right up Amberlynn's alley. She should love a Frankenstein movie moment. I saw Ernie Hudson at a farmer's market once and he laughed because I was standing next to him and didn't recognize him. An invisible thread slices through a whole boat of people and they made it so intense. Oh, you're talking about Ghost Ship. Was it an invisible thread though? I think that was a like a part of the boat that just got released. It was just a ghost that did it. An anxious attachment moment. Oh, and 3 Body Problem. I don't know that I've watched this movie. Oh, it's a series. A group of scientists who came in contact with extraterrestrial civilization. Greenleaf, that sounds familiar. Roma. I have not watched this, but this sounds interesting. This sounds and looks kind of the same aesthetic from the cover, at least, to the series that they did on the hell was the name of that book? It'll come to me later. It's a sci-fi. So is it like Aliens? I, for the life of me, cannot remember the name of that show. I had a nightmare about an alien-induced apocalypse. My nightmares always reference like zombie apocalypse. Or like something grabbing me. Like I used to for the longest time, I would not put my leg over the edge of the bed for fear that something was going to grab me and pull me. The boat scene is all human making though. The boat has the aliens worshipping cult, so this group of mercs slice in perfectly like deli meat. Jesus. For people that like the Salem witch trial type shows, I felt like a very good drama series was Salem. Very good cast. We had Shane West and Janet Montgomery and Seth Gable and Elise Eberl. You have returned from the vet. I assume they gave antibiotics for the ear infection. Half pint. Hopefully all is well. Samar. I loved the original Color Purple and then the Color Purple remake that they did. I thought both were great. Oh, that's great that he didn't have an infection though. Half pint. He just has an abrasion from scratching, so we got steroid cream to help with that, but he's good otherwise. Oh, well, it's good that it wasn't something worse. It's better than them having an infection. Hopefully that clears up pretty good. Yeah, my little hellion Bowie decided to adorn me with a scratch in the middle of my forehead because I was holding him like a baby and he got temperamental. Kids, what can you do? The fur babies. That's why I'm wearing the Harry Potter glasses, because he gave me my mark. Such a dick cat. I have not watched stop motion yet. It is on, it's been downloaded to our driver to watch. That, Lighthouse, and I forget what the last movie was, but we have like 3 horror movies that we have recently downloaded to watch. We just haven't found the time to. Work has been crazy. School. I'm applying for school. Gonna be going back to school. Been trying to get in gear for that, to split my time between work and school and home and hobbies. I am going to be going into both medical coding and billing and medical administration. I feel like it's time. I've worked sort of in these areas, and I'm just ready for the pay grade increase, and that comes with having a diploma in it. So it's time. I'm pushing 40. Like 40 is right around the corner for me. I feel like within a year I can get these degrees and have a better time with my work environment. Get paid my worth, so to speak. Ooh, Kiki. Yeah, I'm going in the fall. I think mine starts in October. Half pint. I recently started my career after not using my degree for mad long. I salute you. Yeah, I have not gotten, like, everything that I have ever done in a job or career path or even as hobby, I've self-taught. YouTube is a godsend when it comes to that. I've taught myself a lot with Excel, and a lot of my admin duties I've been self-taught through practice and as well as good old YouTube and Google. But I feel like it's just that time. Everything is increasing in price and I need more money. So this is my opportunity to go to school while I'm still fiddling with other things, trying to keep busy and hopefully making more money after the fact. Ooh, sociology adjacent. I broke out into a cold sweat when I see must be experience in Excel and Google Sheets on job apps. You know, I will say, Brioche, it seems daunting, but it's actually not that bad. Excel and Google Sheets are not that bad. My skin is not self-healing like yours. The scar is a permanent reminder of your disappointment. I still love you. Please don't do it again. Or just get a CPA license and be an accountant. There's a lot of jobs open for accountants. Accountants and payroll. I love Excel and creating forms like that. I use it for my day-to-day. I use Excel for my day-to-day as well. I don't really dabble much in like the Google Sheets. I know I'm able to use them, but it's not something I frequent every day, but Excel is every day. Creating forms is so annoying. I don't know why anyone likes it. Oh, I know there was talks about the People Under the Stairs remake. Wasn't Jordan Peele supposed to be remaking that? Or yeah, Jordan Peele. Stairs remake. I'm wondering if they just noped out of that. Yeah, it's still undated at the moment. I would be interested in that being made into a remake, maybe a little bit more scary. People are already pissed about the remake. It's the first thing that came up when I Googled it. I mean, that's the thing. Like, I don't mind that they remake old films, but I do want them to either take a different route. Like, if something was comedy before, maybe go more heavily influenced in the horror aspect. Or if something was heavily horror before, maybe throw a little bit of a kitschy 80s kind of comedy / horror vibe to it. Like, that's how I feel a remake should go. Or with the added technology, let's make the special effects better, etc. Please remake Powder. No. I want a creepy Powder if we're remaking Powder. In a Violent Nature. Isn't that with the dude from Lord of the Rings, I think? Maybe? In a Violent Nature. The Barbie's guy you reacted to earlier could be the new Powder. No. No, Sam. If we're gonna put Amel as casted as a horror anything, he's gonna be in Hills Have Eyes. He's got to be a part of the Hills Have Eyes. That is his territory. I will leave it at that. We can't count. Powder is a sweet boy. A sweet, misunderstood boy. Flowers in the attic is the grandma. Okay, that's a better casting. That is a better casting, Brioche. You're onto something there. He can be the new Gilbert Grape. Arnie, I want hot dogs, Mom. Oh my gosh. Thriller movies 2025. So 2025 thriller. What is this? Are we seriously doing another Mortal Kombat in 2025? I've heard nothing on that. All right, and I know I may be alone in this. I may be the only person that actually enjoys this franchise, but I am looking forward to Avatar 3 in 2025. I've loved the Avatar films. I don't know if it's just me. I'm weird, quirky, girly pop for enjoying the Avatar franchise. But I'm looking forward to the Avatar 3. Avatar is Fern Gully for adults. Exactly, Kiki. I loved the first one. I loved the second one. I'm looking forward to the third because we're going to get introduced to a different subset of the Avatar species. Not the last Airbender Avatar. No. But it looks like in 2025 we're being hit with another Mortal Kombat, which is weird because I really haven't seen anything teased about this or talked about this. Who is the casting? I need to know cast. Carl Urban. Okay, you've got my attention. Hiroyuki Sanada, Martin Ford. Ooh. Hiroyuki. Two men that are nice on the eyes. Carl Urban, maybe younger Carl Urban, honestly. Martin Ford is going to be Shao Kahn. Okay, some of these people I'm not familiar with in the cast, but I'm for the two leads. I think Mortal Kombat should remain a video game. I can't imagine them making a good movie even if the movies predate the game. All right, Sam, have a good night. Thanks for joining us and talking with us. Have a good night. Enjoy your frozen Coke straight out of the freezer. You know what I miss? Apparently, not all of the Wendy's still do it, but I remember when I was pregnant with my first daughter, my oldest daughter, the the Frosty floats were a thing from Wendy's, and I used to specifically go and get a Coke float every night when I was in my last trimester of pregnancy with my older daughter. And I went to go revisit out here recently. I was like, oh, I remember those. I was like, I want one. Went there. No, we don't do those. What? You literally are just putting a Frosty inside of a soda, like a fountain soda. You can't do that, please. I will pay you. No, we don't do those. Damn it. What are you doing, Wendy's? And my day wasn't the same after that. They don't even have a sweet tea at the Wendy's near me. Like, why not? Who made this decision? We went to Wendy's last night and I was so fucking bummed because I just wanted a little like junior Frosty. I was craving like a little junior Frosty moment, a little chocolate junior Frosty. We went there. It was like 8 o'clock at night. We don't have the chocolate Frosty. Is the berry okay? No, the berry is not okay. I do not want it. I do not want a berry Frosty. I'm sorry. And so I ended up going. They could have taken on the challenge of making the float. I know, honestly, how hard is it? You're putting soft serve ice cream into a fountain drink. Bing, bang, boom, done. You can charge me the extra. You could even charge me an extra $1 and I wouldn't care. I just wanted a Coke float. But we had went to Wendy's and I just wanted a Frosty. They only had it a berry flavored Frosty. And I'm like, I don't want that. I don't want that. I don't want that. So I end up going to a local ice cream place and just got soft serve vanilla chocolate swirl ice cream. And that's what I had. I haven't tried the berry, but I was not in a berry mood. I wanted chocolate. I wanted chocolate soft serve ice cream. I'm an agent of chaos. I miss the Checkers Head strawberry ice cream. Ugh, a strawberry soft serve sounds so good. Talking about food, I feel like Chantal and Amberlynn right now. So demure. Chocolate and berries go well together, the flavors. You know what? And I'd be willing to try that, brioche. Mindfully, I'd be willing to try that. But they didn't have the chocolate. Exhausted mukbangs era. Oh no. You will never catch me eating on camera. You're lucky you catch me drinking on camera. It's because Chantal's obsessed with food though. like the last few clips that I've seen of Chantal's latest uploads, she is fully obsessed with food. Food is above Salah in terms of Chantal's daily life. Ooh, raspberry brownies sound good, brioche. Did you put the raspberries in the batter, or did you put them just like on top of the brownies? Inquiring minds want to know. At least Amber has bingo and an active online dating life. Yeah, but brioche, the dating life is including feeders. So what is the saying when life mimics art? Is that the quote? When life imitates art. That actually sounds really good. Raspberry and brownies. I did a coconut peanut butter flourless cookie last month. It was just to use up. I had like a bunch of coconut cake mix that I had pre-mixed up. And I was like, I don't want it to go to waste. And I don't want to store it in the freezer for forget about it, because I will forget that it's in there. So I was like, I'll just make cookies out of it. And I added in it was just like powdered coconut and like baking soda and stuff like that. So there was no actual flour in it. And I added peanut butter and sugar-free maple syrup, mixed it all together and put it on a baking sheet, baked it for like 15 minutes at 350. So good. I'm definitely a coconut lover. I love coconut. I love coconut and peanut butter together. I think they're very good together. Very dainty, very sophisticated, very demure, very mindful together. I feel like they complement each other well. Especially a toasted coconut moment with peanut butter. Alluring. Very alluring. Opulent, luxurious. Yes, yes. Fancy. Fancy. I was wondering why people kept saying demure for days. Listen, it is all over TikTok. All over TikTok. Apparently, the tea on that is that somebody originally created that sound, and then another creator decided to reimagine that TikTok from the original TikTok, and kind of made it their own, and it went viral. And then the person that originally made that quoted soundbite was like, well, they copycatted off of me. And essentially it was like, why didn't I get that kind of, viral hit to essentially the same thing? And it's like, well, this person had personality. You had none. Like, this is why. Double chocolate chip cookies with coffee added. I know that espresso especially brings out the taste of chocolate. Sounds like lolcows when they say their content is being stolen. It was very much that coded, and it was very laughable, and it became a running meme on TikTok now. That other creator reimagining of that soundbite, and basically people making fun of the original creator of the quote. So it's been a mess. And especially because the person that reimagined the soundbite is transgender. And I feel like a lot of people had a heyday. The internet is a playground, honestly. both in the best of ways and the worst of ways. It's like a lady talking about how she doesn't wear crazy makeup at work. She wears demure makeup, but it's like a 6-inch wig and a whole full face beat. Oh my god, I didn't even notice the sun setting. The sun setting there? Because it's already set here, baby. It's dark as shit outside. Dark as shit. TikTok.com. It took you mentioning crazy makeup at work. I was like, why is my desktop music? I still had the desktop music playing. I am a mess, y'all. I'm supposed to be professional here with my fucking clawed up forehead from my fucking Death Eater cat. All right. So I found the person who did the reimagining of, man, why did I size that up so much? I think it was for the other shots from earlier. Oh. All right. There we go. That's more demure. No, this isn't the original. The original came from not Jules. This is Jules, I'm pretty sure. But this is the original. The original Gorl here. Gorly Pop. Oh. My lord, am I not gonna get with it? What day is it?
Very demure, very mindful. I don't come to work with a green cut crease. I don't look like a clown when I go to work. I don't do too much.
Y'all have audio
now while I'm at work. See how I look very presentable? The way I came to the interview is the way I go to the job. A lot of you girls go to the interview looking like Marge Simpson and go to the job looking like Patty and Selma. Not demure. I'm very modest. I'm very mindful. You see my shirt? Only a little chichi out, not my chocho. Be mindful of why they hired you. Here's your reality check, diva. What's the name you'd like me to make it out to? You see how...
All right, now let me try to find the original girls. Y'all didn't see the fear that just behooved my face as a mosquito became very close to my eyeballs. Um, here she is. Selena. Selena. Here we are.
But it's just something that I'm just kind of like, well, it would have been nice.
All right, pause, so I can get this set up. What? I know, and they're like crazy in Florida right now because of the humidity. Like I have algae blooms on my windows outside from the humidity. And I'm just like, what am I supposed to? I've never ran into this issue before as a transplant. Well, even in the fucking 5 years that I've lived in Florida, this is the first year that I've had algae blooms on the outside of my windows. So I had to like go and spray my windows down with vinegar in hopes that that kills it enough for me to be able to start scrubbing the outside and go at it with a like scraper. Is very upset about that. But here's the original, well, who claims to be the original creator of the soundbite for the demure trend.
But it's just something that I'm just kind of like, well, it would have been nice even if it was just one video where somebody was like, hey, like, you know, Selena did this trend back in the day, like, you know, I appreciate and love, and just show me some love, because I show everybody that I have on my following thing love and like thing, and like I'll make sure to use somebody's original audio, or if I did use something of the original person, I'll make sure to tag them, which is not often because I don't use too many people's audios. If I know where the audio's from, then, you know, I'll use the original one, but if I don't, then I don't. But for the most part, I don't really use other people's audios unless it's like actual songs. Yeah, I don't know. I thought it would be nice and just like thing, but I don't know. Y'all could just probably gaslight me and tell me that I'm fucking dragging it.
Exactly, Brioche. It's TikTok. Like, people use other people's sound bites on TikTok all the time, and their videos go more viral than the sound does. It's just you can't help that. And the person who did the reimagining of this trend to make it their own, they have every authority to let that go viral and be great for them. Like I just don't.
But I used to spend hours making videos. Like I used to make like 70 videos a day, something that I worked very hard towards, and things that I just try to think outside the box to make content. And saying things that are, you know, off the top of my dome, or like I'd be like, oh my god, that'd be so funny for a video, and like, because I was very comedy centered, and I just feel like there's been many times where I've seen videos, and it's just not this one only, where I've seen videos and things where it's like, this is completely an idea of mine, and it's just been regurgitated and rearranged, and I'm just like, you know what I mean? It's like the way I make these videos is because of my intersectionalities and my certain experiences and the things that I read, and then the things that I read and the way that I interpret the things that I read, or the literature or the culture around me, or like the people around me. So for me, it's a little bit more personal than other people may think. And it's, you know, so some people it's just videos, but these are documentations of my real life and the way that I'm interpreting the world around me. You know what I mean?
Well, even that, like if they used her soundbite, even if people just used her soundbite for this trend, she would gain traction that way. But like, you can't control what goes viral to an extent. Like that, I think that's the issue Amber and Chantal and them both have with others using their content, is because a lot of times their content goes further with other creators doing their spin on that content than it does with their original content. It's just, it's the internet, babes. Like, there's not really much you can do about it.
I mean, I didn't mean to get so introspective, but yeah, it just kind of would have been nice. But
and that was a post that they have since deleted. So that was somebody else having clipped that to be able to share what they said. The person that used they used it as a reference because they didn't even say word for word exactly what the original person said. So they've kind of reimagined the demure thing to fit their persona on TikTok. And I think she's just mad because that went viral and hers did not. But somebody else even used another similar reimagining of the same like quote or the same trend, and theirs also went viral. So I don't understand why she just came after the transgender woman versus the other woman that used the exact same trend for the thing and also went viral. I think she just wanted to slam the transgender woman because she felt like she had more of a voice against that person. I don't know. It's very weird that it was very centered around this specific person using that trend. I don't know. It's very not demure, very not mindful. Very jealous. Yeah, but Brioche, sometimes, especially on TikTok, I've found that a lot of the LGBT community have kind of the same love-hate relationship that they had for the B part of the community. The bad rap that bisexuals had for so long within the queer community, I feel like now the trans community is being hit with that same level of disdain within their own community. Like, they're all a part of the queer community. Yeah. So I think a lot of the times because I think the other creator was just a straight woman using the trend, and I think that was just not something that this person wanted to go after. They decided to go after essentially their own people. and I just don't understand it. Yeah, half pint. I don't understand it either. As long as you're not hurting anybody and it's consensual and you're not venturing into things that are harmful against people, persons, things that cannot consent to I don't even want to say lawful, because I mean, lesbian relationships and gay relationships have only until recently been able to be lawful. But like, if you're not hurting anybody, I don't care. That's your personal life. I don't care. Go pop off, be you, love who you want to love, peace, love, everything to that. I love that. But yeah, it's still so fresh that like I can't even place like, you know, lawfully, as long as it's lawful, but like up until recently it's just love who you want to love, be who you want to be. If you want to be anything, I don't care. I will love you as a person regardless, and I will carry out whatever you want me to refer to you as with all respect, as long as you're giving me respect in return. Even though I was still closeted then, I was so happy internally when they made that decision. Yeah. It's crazy because, aw, thank you, Half Pint. I try to be. I try to show people the same respect they show me. I am a, what do they call it, a rubber band in that fact. The respect you give me, I'm going to give right back to you. I remember coming out to it's funny. I remember coming out to my lesbian mom. My mom has been a lesbian since I was like 5 years old. And I came out to her as bisexual, and she's like, I don't like it. I don't like what kind of life that's going to be for you, because you're going to get it from both ends. You're going to get it from the queer people, and you're going to get it from the straight people. How you don't really belong in either circle because you're down the center of that of those groups. So I don't like that would be the life that you're choosing or that you feel is your path in life, but I'm going to love you regardless, and whoever you bring home, and I will love them. That was kind of her view of things. I'm bi and have some very unpopular opinions, or at least unpopular in my circles, but also don't have any queer friends. I have a few queer friends. I have some that are more eccentric than others. And I have some that are a little more old school than others. So I understand all spectrums of it, but as long as they're showing love and respect to people that are giving love and respect to them, I need them to all be okay with who they're in company of. My brother is gay and I'm non-binary. We're a dynamic duo. I wish I knew how to meet more queer people. Honestly, I hate to be I hate to mention it because it's such a stereotype deal, but depending on your area, a lot of art things, a lot of crafty things, or arts and crafty areas. I'm very straight passing, so I think it never clicks when I'm around other people. Oh, like poetry slams and hipster cafes. No. Even craft places, places that you would go to do the sip and paints and stuff like that. The what are they called? The pottery painting and pottery making. Flea markets, definitely. You could also, I know they have apps for friend groups for for the queer community. I don't know of any offhand. Most of my queer friendships have been made through online friendships that started and then we met in person. The Bumble app has a best friend finder. Yeah. I know some of the queer dating apps do have a friend option on them for platonic friendships. Yeah, I mean, I came from the age where online started really popping off for meeting people, and so that's how I've made a lot of my friendships from outside school and lived life in the real world. But a lot of my lasting queer friendships have came from online. I met a few of my closest queer friends from plus size modeling sites that I used to be on in my youth. And just plus size communities in general, because I was trying to get accustomed to just being in a bigger body and trying to be more social. And then came going to concerts, and kind of the music that I listen to is kind of a flip-flop on if you're going to have a predominantly queer crowd or maybe a mixed crowd. And I know a lot of people nowadays, like if you are a part of like TikTok, they have like TikTok communities where you can join in and talk to people that have similar interests to you, and you can meet people that way. I've met people from TikTok. I listen to more alternative music like Sleep Token and I mean, I wouldn't say that any of Ronnie Radke's stuff would meet you, the eclectic crowd, but in that hemisphere of music, like the emo, kind of vintage emo crowd, My Chemical Romance has a very eclectic queer crowd. Techno music has a fairly good queer crowd. What else is there? Yeah, Kiki, it can be a little touch and go. That's why I feel like the crafting stuff is just a better space to meet people in outside of the alternative spaces. Because if you're doing something fun and that person's also doing something similar with you, you guys have that at least to start a conversation with, and it can go from there. But being an adult and trying to make friends with people is so awkward. I will wholeheartedly give you that. It is very hard making friends as an adult. I feel it's less of an issue of starting conversation, but when it leads to, hey, do you want to exchange numbers and text sometime, that's where it kind of gets awkward. But sometimes it's just worth making those connections with people. I mean, I even recently we went to my kids' like orientation for school, and there was an alternative couple there, and my daughter just so happened to be friends with their child. And I was like, hey, and we introduced ourselves so that we could start that relationship, especially if our kids are going to be friends. It's easier for me to make an adult friend, easier than it was making friends in school. I've made friends through my stuff online, and we live different countries, but they are such a good person in my life. And sometimes long distance friends are awesome as well. I have a few long distance friends that I still send, like my one friend up north just had, I guess my second godchild. And I sent her like a bunch of baby stuff when it was close to her having her newest child. I still stay in close contact with a lot of people. I think I find it harder to remain in contact with family members over friends. And that's just because family trauma. I try to stay away from it. A lot of my friends last year were from my job, trauma bond. Hey, you know, some of your work friends can be the closest friendships you'll ever have. The trauma bonding is real. It's hard to keep up with cousins. Cousins, I have an adoptive sister that I try to keep in touch with. And like, I love her to death, and I love my nieces and nephews, but it's hard for me to remain connected just because I feel like a lot of our past is brought up, and I don't care to delve into that. Hello, welcome back, Sam. Hope the walk was well and the frozen Coke was delicious. Yeah, I love my coworker. Like the best times I ever had were working my factory job in my youth, which I still remained in contact with a few of those people, but also my my managing position jobs that I had for gas stations that I worked in Ohio and here in Florida. But those people are like, they what's funny is like they are like half my age, but I find them so funny. Well, not half my age. I'm only 38. So is it half my age? No, they're not half my age. What's half of 38? Math, what do you know? 19. No. They're a little over half my age. But they're younger than I am. And I feel like they're the funniest things. She's the only friend to have seen me cry. I'm like animals when they try to hide that they're injured or sick. I always block coworkers, especially after I no longer work there. I'll block any supervisors if I get a new job immediately after the interview. I've stayed in contact with coworkers that I liked. I really had two specific ones that I worked with through my management position at a gas station that I worked at, and I still follow them. Like, I still have them on my Snapchat. They see they do you hate your job, Sam? Oh. What kind of jobs did you have, Sam, for automatic block if you don't work there anymore? Yeah, work, make money and go home. Man, you sound like my husband. That's how he is. He just wants to work, make the money, go home. He's not there to make friends. He's there to work. Oh, obligated to give people rides home. Yeah, that's real. I remember I was manager for a gas station in Ohio, and I remember having just done a morning shift, and I'd opened the store, and I left around like 3 o'clock. So I was there from 5 o'clock in the morning until 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And then I got a call back because one of my employees was not able to make it into work because they had a fever. And I was like, okay, I will find somebody to cover for you. And then the person that I found to cover for them needed a ride to work. So I had to go all the way back in town. At the time, I lived like 45 minutes from town. And so I had to go all the way back into town, pick them up from their house, drive them to work. And then I had to go all the way back home for them just to give me a call a few hours later saying, hey, this person had to go home. We need somebody else to help close the store. So I came and helped close the store. And then I had 2 days off because they didn't want to give management overtime. Kiki, it depends on the conversation. Some conversations are okay. I don't like listening to the drama and negative energy during breaks. See, I guess that was where I differ because I live for other people's drama as long as it's not my own. So I'm the person that I'm like, yeah, come to me and tell me all about it. And they tell me all their dirty stuff, and I'm just like, ooh. And then I tell my husband. And that's about it. Like, I'm a therapist. I love tea. It's my job. Man, office gossip. I lived for it. The best gossip that I ever got was when I worked in my factory job, and one of the line leaders, who was essentially my superior, had gotten into a relationship with somebody from another line, and that guy was actively cheating on her while at work with somebody and then went to go kiss that said somebody goodbye before they left our work. And that line leader, my superior, caught them in the act and then was like, who was that? And he tried telling her that that was his cousin. And I was like, who open mouth kisses their cousin? You know what I mean? Who tongue punches their cousin? Nobody. Please do not believe that he is out there tongue punching his cousin and thinking nothing of it. That is not what was happening. So that man came onto my line, and at the time I was doing quality checking on that line, and I started singing the song Kissing Cousins because I think I'm hilarious. And he got a little bit heated on it. And he was also, to top things off, he was a Mennonite. And he was just very shady. He was just he thought he was a womanizer. He was very much not. Yeah. So I'm back there singing Kissing Cousins, and he was like, what are you singing that song for? And I was like, oh, no reason. And then they had this big blow up fight in the lunchroom, and it was amazing. Explains why he'd think the cousin thing would work. I should have led with that first. He was a Mennonite. Yeah, they had a huge blow up fight in the cafeteria, and drinks were thrown, words were said, and the poor girl that didn't know what the fuck was going on was just sitting over in the corner, soaked in somebody's beverage, crying. And I'm just like, I love this place. I love this place. And that's when I knew I was going to hell. That's my origin story for entering hell. Sounds like a Real Housewives reunion. It was wild back in the day, man. That's what I saw in my early 20s while working a factory job. And I would not take back any of it. I loved it. All right, y'all. It's fixing to be 9 o'clock here. It has been real. It's midweek. I still have to get up in the morning and do this all over again, this lovely work thing. It's been real. I've loved it. I loved our horror movie talk. We will be doing that again. I'm going to set up a Discord. I'll probably do it sometime tomorrow night. And I'm going to make dinner, if you can call it that, at this point, and rewatch Men. Great chit chat with these good Christian creatures in here. And I'm going to make that Discord. I will put it in the community tab post when it gets made. And we will do like a once a week, like maybe we can do like a horror movie club where we just watch horror movies and discuss them. Have a good night, everyone. And hope you all have a good rest of your week. And I will catch you on Monday. Bye.